In a world where gender roles are mixed up and femininity and masculinity has been switched out with wokeness, and that means that in today's video we are taking a look at when men don't hold back against woke people. But before we jump right into the video, quickly like and subscribe to show support.
Here's a scenario for you. Lionel Messi puts his hand up and says, actually, I'm feeling like a woman today. Do you play him in the American women's national team, Francesca? Yes or no?
Yes, right now. Hell yeah, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Messi on the US women's national team? Hell yeah.
Would you allow Usain Bolt to do that and be in the sprinting team?
Yes, because that would mean they're a trans woman. They identify as women.
I get it. So just to be clear, you'd let Lionel Messi play in the women's national football team and destroy women's football forever. You'd let Usain Bolt...
it'd be very difficult to get a ticket, which would suck.
I want to do a little checklist here. You'd let Usain Bolt compete as a sprinter in the American women's Olympic team?
Yes.
Okay. You would let Floyd Mayweather compete as a boxer in the women's American boxing team?
Yeah,
you are a
you have to
complete
be like the
and utter
heavyweight.
lunatic.
I completely agree with Francesca, and I go
They
further
would
actually,
have to transition.
Lunacy.
You always say that you want to be a penguin. I would let you live at London Zoo in a cage like the rest of the penguins.
You know what? I'd be a very popular exhibit.
You would. And you'd be locked up.
Here's the problem. It is so delusional. The idea you would let Usain Bolt say, I'm a woman, and compete against women on a racetrack when no man can compete with him, right? It's utterly ridiculous.
Well, I'm just convinced that they don't actually believe this, but to the logical conclusion of their ludicrous arguments facilitates the need to actually say these things. Also, this is a testament to the poor quality of public education in both the US and the UK, that you both don't understand the basic economics of how sports entertainment works.
Yeah.
If there are not enough bums on seats, you don't get paid enough. That's literally it.
That's
so
it.
sitting there outraged about the fact that some female players don't make as much as some male athletes, guess what? Go and buy the tickets to their games and start boosting up their viewing figures, and then maybe...
Caitlin Clark got more views.
Look at the revenue for the Women's World Cup and compare it to the Men's World Cup. They are like...
These woke feminists would want to put Mayweather in a ring with women. I'm starting to question if they really are feminists or the opposite, because that doesn't seem like a favor for women.
Does that say don't mess with trans kids?
Indeed it does. It's a great shirt.
Wait, so you think it's okay for a 14-year-old to be able to have their penis off?
Hold on.
It happens
I was
all
about
the
to ask
time.
you another question. Also, no, I don't. Also, that's not how gender reassignment surgery goes.
Well,
and
yes, it does actually.
you don't cut it off. It's significantly more complicated. If you want to look it up, you can look it up. They flip it inside out. It's a lot more complicated.
Oh, they flip it inside out. They don't actually chop it off.
It's a medical marvel, folks.
I stand corrected. You're okay with 14-year-olds having that happen?
I already said no.
Okay, so we can agree that we should have a federal law saying that we should not have gender reassignment surgery for trans kids.
No. Can I get to my question, please?
No, I have a question. Why can we agree that it should be illegal for someone to have gender reassignment care or surgery if they're 14 years old?
For the third time, no. We should not have that. Or wait. Hold on. At 14 years old? I'm not a doctor, man.
But no, it's a very simple moral question.
The easy way out is, of course, just to say, hey, I'm not a doctor. But why did he go to a debate if he can't say his stance or argue?
If a single woman who lives at home and 30 intruders come in...
30? 30 dudes. Bro, who is your ops? What are you gonna say? As a man, I'm supposed to protect you? Or what am I supposed to do? 30 people is a small army. 30 people are looking for you. You probably did what they're accusing you of doing. If 30 people pull up at the door and ask where you are, I'm giving them your name, surname, social security. I feel like if you get to this point, so ingrained into your mind that you're supposed to expect a threat, that you don't even know what the threat is anymore. You actually have to be a national threat. At that point, I'm turning you in for my safety.
These woke women really think that the whole world is against them. I mean, 30 guys, come on, that's just outrageous.
Gay sir, what are you?
Why are you asking me this question? Can I have a better question?
Oh, yeah. Tell us about, you look gorgeous. Tell us about beautiful, all these
Why are you
beautiful,
looking down? Look up.
beautiful trans women out here. Tell us about your transition, how it
Can I
went.
hold this, please?
No.
So I have a question for you. Why are you asking me those questions?
We're
What are you doing?
We're interviewing people at Pride.
Okay.
Like, we're interviewing like trans women and stuff like that.
I'm not a trans woman. I'm a
Oh no, we're fully supportive. Fully supportive. Yeah. So we just want to like talk about like the transitions, like the various challenges we've had.
I am not offended or nothing like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So ask me a better question.
Do you want to talk about sort of transitioning or anything like that, or like what people can?
I never transitioned because I was born a woman.
No, of course you're a woman. Of course.
I was born a woman.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not here challenging that at all. We're like out here. The whole thing is like being proud and it's like supporting.
Trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are a woman. That's what I'm saying.
No. Does it make a trans woman any less of a woman?
No, you are 100% a woman.
Is a trans woman any less?
No, 100%. All women are women. Trans women, all women, and like I think you are as much of a woman as any other.
What's your opinion on trans women?
I support them and I love them.
Okay.
That's why we're interviewing them. We're showcasing them.
Well, you haven't interviewed one yet because I'm not a trans woman.
Okay. Is there another definition that people like to use, or I don't mean to be.
I was born a woman. I was born with female genitals.
Okay. Okay, I got it.
These woke trolls really has gotten too funny. That's the perfect prank for a wokey.
Breaking news, after this man goes undercover, managing to get an interview with the queen of quote-unquote anti-racism, Robin DiAngelo, famous for her book White Fragility, meaning that white people are too fragile and closed off to the fact that they're inherently racist. This guy trolled the crap out of her, got her to get up and get $30 from her wallet and pay his fake black producer the money as reparations. As the clip from his movie Am I Racist broke the internet, she decided to delete her social media from the humiliation. Wild.
This is honestly just straight out of a Simpsons movie. I mean, how are these woke people paying some random dude for this?
What just occurred?
He's making me mad.
Did you damage his sign? I have it on video. So are we pressing?
Yes. Destruction of. You'll get community service and you'll be ordered to pay restitution for the flag.
I am a full-time student. I'm coming back here in the summertime.
Next time you'll think not to do it.
Dude, like you can't find any like peace in your heart and understanding.
I will tell the judge and he'll drop the charges after 6 months and you do community service.
You don't offer like second chances, redemption.
It's too late now. You had a chance not to do what you did, but you went ahead and did it anyway.
This is probably the first time she had to deal with consequences of her action. Now she know not to do it again, as the guy said.
Why can't marriage be allowed with 2 men or 2 women? That question got me.
Yeah, so I mean, allowed and what it is are 2 different things. So again, just strictly from what marriage has always been is the idea of 2 separate parts coming in a union to be able to have, hopefully, a lifelong partnership to raise kids, adopt kids, or have kids, and to become better versions of themselves. It is the attraction of opposites. And so if you want to redefine marriage, that's fine, that's your contention, but I take a classical view of marriage.
Based on, like, what is that based on what? The Bible?
The natural law.
Is that the Bible?
Well, natural law is separate than the Bible, but it's harmonic with the Bible, that's correct.
Okay.
Because what would you say? What is the purpose of marriage?
Marriage is like, I love you, you love me. Let's
Got it. So
let's get together.
Can a 25-year-old marry an 8-year-old?
No.
Why?
Because that 8-year-old is not ready. Like they
Got it. So at
are
some
not
point,
adults.
so then let's build out your definition more. Then love each other, but also what? What is the purpose? What is the destination of marriage?
We are 2 adults. We love each other.
Fair enough. Okay, we love each other. End of story.
Well, let's give me another thing, and maybe I'll add to it.
Okay, but is that it? Is it about union, partnership, friendship?
I think it's just like, let's get our taxes good. Like, let's just get married. Like, I don't think there needs to be some big, crazy reason.
No, I'm not attacking you. I think marriage is holy. And by holy, I don't just mean it in a religious sense. Holy means separate, meaning it should be elevated. It should be celebrated. It's something that is so above the rest. And you just think it's like a tax advantage. And it's fine, because actually most Americans agree with you.
Yeah.
I think marriage is something where we should drop everything like, wow, 2 separate parts have just made a lifelong covenant with one another to learn about the other and to grow with each other, and it's difficult. And I think that we've lost that.
I mean, I'm Jewish, and like in Judaism, there's the when you get married, the religious marriage, and then there's the government marriage. Like you have to get married twice, basically. So I think what you're talking about is probably the religious marriage, like with a priest. I'm talking about governmental marriage.
I'm even talking about government. I'm just saying traditionally our governmental marriage, again, I'm in the vast minority of opinion in the country, this has been the classical view that it's a man and a woman coming together in something sacred and something holy or elevated. Again, that's not,
I would say that's just a Christian marriage.
It's not necessarily Christian. In Judaism, in traditional rabbinical Judaism, Orthodox, homosexual marriage is not recognized.
That is true.
So it's not Christian. In Islam, homosexual marriage is not recognized.
Okay.
So it's not just Christian.
Okay.
So it's Abrahamic.
Abrahamic.
All right, we agree.
I mean, they are allowed to call themselves married if they want to, but marriage is literally between man and woman, so they can invent their own with man and man if they want to.
When you guys say you're a 10, does that mean that you think you are perfect looking, or is it more like I'm a 10?
Well, she doesn't think she's perfect because she wants to get plastic surgery.
Right. That's what I was asking.
Good argument.
That's what I was
Hold
asking.
on.
I want to be a 20.
You said you're a 10, but you said you want lip filler and fake tits and the hip fillers and Botox?
Yep.
Well, how can you possibly be a 10 if you want those cosmetic procedures?
I can still feel like I'm a 10 because I know that I'm beautiful.
but-
I just want to be more beautiful.
But hold on, you can't be more beautiful
10 means
than
there's
most
no
beautiful.
room for improvement, right?
I want to
10's
break
like
the
perfect.
scale.
You want to,
Break the scale.
Break the scale. Well, you got to eat a lot more food if you want to do that.
Why do you think that if you can achieve physical perfection, it'll like make up for something? It'll fix something in your life? Is that why? Or like, why do you value your looks like so much? That
I've
you
just
would do
always
all
been into that, like since I was a kid. Like I've always been into like beauty and stuff like that. Like I used to wake up at 3 a.m. to do my hair.
Why?
It was just something that I did.
These woke people say they just feel like a 10. Yeah, that's cool, but if you say that to others, then you mean it and not just feel it. Like, this is just delusional.
If you're saying that we should get rid of sporting categories altogether, do you support the idea of eliminating the Paralympics versus the Olympics?
I think that's a really great question, and
my God!
I need to look into that because, as you say,
So because he can't admit that females are not as good in sports and therefore need a separate sport, he not only wants them all to play together, but also with disabled people. I mean, so he thinks that a guy missing both legs can play as well, basketball or what?
So when we talk about, why are they at a disadvantage? Why are they at a disadvantage? We can talk about black people in particular. We can talk about redlining and housing discrimination. We can talk about the after effects of slavery and debt peonage that no one talks about. I noticed that that I never see you guys like cover Daily Wire cover or like anything when it comes to the history of black people that accurately explains where we are at today, because the last chattel slave released in America was actually in 1942, and that's not like a crackpot theory. That's because right after segregation or right after slavery, the South didn't kind of just like give up and be like, oh, you got our slaves, our economy is just gonna go along now. They attempted to have a system in which they re-implemented it.
No, look,
So
there are
basically
over 9 million slaves going around today, not in the United States.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. So,
how does it not?
Because we're not talking about the historical, we're not talking about the context of people who are
I'm just
living
pointing
in
out
slavery conditions around the world.
I'm saying slavery is practiced everywhere around the world today.
What does that mean?
It means forced servitude.
Yeah, I'm not saying what does slavery mean. What does it mean that is practiced in multiple places and everywhere today? Does that mean it's okay?
No, it's very bad. But what I'm saying is
then
we're basically the only guys that ever stopped it in all of human history. We in the West, yeah.
That's funny. What do you mean by we in the West?
I mean Europe and the countries that came out of the European colonies are the only part of civilization ever that decided to end the practice of slavery. And they did so for explicitly Christian reasons.
Where do you think that slavery was most popular?
It was the Muslim pirates who were some of the largest traders.
No, that's the sheer. When it comes to the trade of the Barbary slave trade.
No, not
sheer. I'm talking about that. The Barbary pirates. That's in sheer number wise, like compared to the transatlantic slave trade with African Americans in particular. Yeah. It's a bigger number.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, where do you think it was most popular? You're taking that one instance
You're
of slave
saying today, or?
No, I'm talking about historically. You're taking that one instance of slave trading, and you're neglecting all the slavery that was going on in Western countries. If you could count up that number, that's significantly more than the Barbary slave.
I'm saying even like slavery today, for instance, in Africa, is still practiced. There's a candidate for the president of South Sudan who himself was a slave and has been speaking out about the problems of slavery all around the world. Okay. At the height of the transatlantic slave trade, there were more slaves who were held in Africa than were shipped over to the New World. So I'm saying this, and this has been true in East Asia.
Oh,
this has been true in the Middle East.
And this is because you're failing to draw a distinction between what slavery we're talking about. These societies did have slavery, and that again has nothing to do with American history. But when we look at
there's a lot to do with the history of slavery.
No, I'm talking about around the world. The fact that every other nation or other nations practice slavery has nothing to do with context.
Throughout every other region of the world.
So does America. If you look up any study, if you look up any source that tells you how many slaves there are in the world, they'll say there's like 7 million in Africa, and they'll give you a number about 400,000 to 1 million in America
because of sex slavery. Sex slavery.
Because of sex slavery.
Of the people being held by the cartels on the open border.
Yeah. So in the United States. Yeah. Literally in our country.
Because for instance, like our southern border's open, and so the cartels.
Our southern border's open.
Yeah, we have over 3 million people a year come into the country illegally. So it's open.
Does that mean that it's open?
Effectively, yeah. If you can't stop 3 million people from crossing your border, you probably have a pretty open border.
Do you have anything to compare that to number-wise?
Yeah. So even 5 years ago, the number was down to about 2,000 people a day, which at that time was an all-time high.
Is it 3 million a year? Really?
Over 3 million.
I'm genuinely concerned because I believe that it was around 1.
It's not. It's much higher than that.
But
we have a million legal immigrants who come in per year, which is also a shockingly high number, completely out of accord with any other country on earth and any other time in history. But we also have many more millions of illegal aliens crossing into the border per year.
The dude just kept talking in circles. Can he not just be glad for once that he lives in the most free country on earth?
I don't want a man who's only going to judge me based on my size.
Look, you just called him short. We don't want a woman that's only gonna base us based off our height. I'm 6'4", he's 5'8". But you said that he's disqualified because he's 5'8".
I didn't judge his character.
But okay, but you judge his height and he doesn't qualify for you.
Okay, but that's not saying.
And we're saying, but look, time out. The same way he doesn't qualify for you, with your figure, a lot of guys you won't qualify for. And that's what you have to realize.
But me as a person, I'm not going to qualify for a lot of guys because that's life. Give me a second.
That's okay.
Do you want a hug?
Take your time. It's fine. What are men attracted to? Only your looks. Only your looks. So that means that that's your only basket. That's the only elevation. You probably never heard the truth, but this podcast no fugazi, so we got to keep it real. So I'm telling you, please just take it. I'm telling you this. If you work on that, you will attract more mates. Now, it may not, of course.
She really just started crying as soon as she got judged the same way she did to that guy.
I was recording to watch my form. I was so uncomfortable. So I finally get around to my set. Now I want you to notice he's looking around everywhere. Make sure nobody's looking. He has his phone in his hand. And just briefly, after he walks through, you can see that he's gonna lift his camera up and take a quick Snapchat with the finger, put it right back down when I was not looking, of course, because that's what predators do. Look around, kept grinning at me, made me so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable, I literally decided to leave. Creep. And I am so glad that I did not see you do this, because if I did, I'd be in jail and you'd be in the hospital. Keep your eyes open. He's a predator.
This woman is a victim of delusion. I can pretty much guarantee you that this guy that you are recording probably doesn't even know you exist. And then you call him a predator and dox his location. Now, I think just maybe you're the one with the issues here.
You can even see that he was looking at her, and if he was, maybe he just thought you looked good. Maybe take it as a compliment instead of being the offer of delusion.
I have the 3 Fs. If you do not feed me, finance me, or fuck, I do not give half or quarter of fuck of what you think about me at all. So no, we don't care what you think.
No, I do care.
Proven right there, Chad. Yeah.
We know.
Yeah,
we
at least
know.
don't know. We don't care what you think.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, and this is why you always are going to finish last when it comes to the way you deal with men, unless you change your attitude.
These woke women think that they can just pick and choose. They have to get pleasured, but also paid everything for. And what they give in return is nothing.
I think some of the things that you're saying.
Yeah, just sit down.
Okay. They're mean.
Can I tell you something, lady? Hold on. Sit down. Go take a hike. Okay, lady, can I tell you something? If you're easily offended, don't go to a comedy show. Yes, thank you. They didn't come to hear you, they came to hear us. I think what people lose sight of is the fact that these are just jokes, okay? What we say up here is not to be taken seriously, okay? You'd be amazed. Like, some people have the audacity to call me a racist when my wife is Mexican. It's like, how could I be racist when I'm married to a lower race? Why don't you answer me that?
I mean, comedy and wokeness really doesn't go hand in hand, especially if you get offended easily. Like, come on, it's just jokes.
About me saying there's two genders, I still stand by it. Whenever there's a gender reveal party, chat, either a pink powder comes out or a blue powder comes out. You can't scientifically, engineerily dissect and dismantle that there's two genders. You just can't do that, bro.
Seems like not all streamers are delusional, and this guy just decided to speak facts, apparently.
Where would you rank yourself on the marketplace?
8.
Out of what, 100?
Okay, what is it? What we rate from 1 to 10?
Yeah.
Okay, 9.
Okay, have a good day.
This dude really said enough is enough to this woke woman.
How do you go about picking the guests for the show?
Just people I think are funny. See, I could never do a regular talk show because you've got to fill the container every night.
Right.
And there's just not enough people that I really want to talk to.
I have noticed that most of the guests are mostly white males.
Boy. Here we go.
Of 22 episodes.
Yeah,
that
let's
had.
get into that.
No, but you
take a look over here, Peter. What do you see? A lot of whiteys. What's going on here? Oh, this really pisses me off. But go ahead. It really pisses me off. People think it's the census or something. I mean, this has got to represent the actual pie chart of America. Who cares? It's just funny. You know, funny is the world that I live in. You're funny, I'm interested. You're not funny, I'm not interested. Okay. And I have no interest in gender or race or anything like that, but everyone else is kind of with their little calculating, is this the exact right mix? To me, it's anti-comedy.
All right, that's just a cringe question. Imagine if the roles were reversed.
I was just going to ask if you see the irony in your own propaganda in the Constitution on your brainwash tour. Having the explanations here because you don't believe the reader is smart enough to understand the language is kind of propaganda.
Well, no, see, do you know who that audience is for?
For people who can't read it.
Yeah, that's a Constitution for third graders.
Yeah, why are you handing it out to college students?
Let's test your knowledge. Don't open it up.
Right.
What is the 10th Amendment? Okay, let's get easier. What's the 4th Amendment?
Isn't that the No Quartering Act?
No, that's the 3rd Amendment. How many articles are there in the U.S. Constitution?
There's 8 articles.
7. What is Article 3 of the U.S. Constitution?
I just want to ask
No, but I'm just saying, you came here guns a-blazing.
Yeah.
You do not know more than a 3rd grader about the U.S. Constitution.
If you don't see the article.
Yeah, I actually know it. You should keep it.
Well, that quickly backfired. Let's hope he learns his lesson this time. I mean, the fact that he just got destroyed in 10 seconds just shows the skill issue.
Change the natural use of women, and God gave them over to their uncleanness and their lust. So the Apostle Paul did talk about homosexuality. What's up?
Ever heard of pedantry?
No.
Are you familiar with what the Apostle Paul had to say about homosexuality?
Yes, I'm very familiar.
Do you speak Hebrew?
I know a little bit of Hebrew.
Yeah? Do you speak Greek?
I know a little bit of Greek. I don't speak the full language though.
Okay, have you read the Septuagint?
Yes, I read the Septuagint.
You read the Septuagint. Okay, you're familiar with the words used to refer to man and the words used to refer to boy.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we can go to them scriptures right now. If you have your phone, pull them up.
No way in hell.
So you're not going to pull them up. So you're going to go on talking to me about scriptures, but you're not going to pull up the scriptures so I can show you the truth. You're not open. You're just coming to say something. I can quote you scriptures off the top of my head. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 9. Homosexuals will not inherit the kingdom. Romans chapter 1, verse 18. It says that man exchanged the natural use with a man. Woman exchanged with the natural use of woman. They were given over to their lust. Whoa. Whoa. That demon manifested, didn't it? Look at that. That's the truth of this community. I was just harassed. You touch, you have to leave. I bind that demon in the name of Jesus Christ. I bind it in Jesus' name. You have no power over me.
Come on now. How is this not the most hypocritical thing ever? She went from arguing for accepting pride to just straight up going after the man.
You're a girl and you're beautiful, smart,
hardworking, and driven, you are most likely single right now. I honestly just think the options are so limited because hear me out. So like as a girl, you want to find a partner that exceeds you in every single area. So like you want someone that looks better than you, is smarter than you, is more hardworking, has better like social characteristics. Like you look for a partner that has like better qualities than you, or
That's not a partner, that would be a superior.
at least like meets you. And not to be an absolute bitch of a person, but it's like when you're a girl that has all of her shit together, looks good, is hardworking, makes a lot of money, it's like, where do you go from there? There's so limited options. And then it's like the guys that are good options that would fit your standards are just
Maybe she is single because of her insane ego. And of course she has her little Starbucks latte or whatever that is. That's when you know her ego is bigger than imaginable.
When you target someone by attaching their name to your joke, that's okay.
Yeah, but I'm not inciting people. You are inciting people.
You're normalizing.
Every single person I've spoken to about the things that you have said about me don't understand any of it. And if I just sit there and interrogate the people who are alleging things about me, I can just sit there and explain to them the context and they go, well, that's not very important, is it?
You're normalizing this kind of language.
I'm normalizing comedy because at this point comedy is under attack in this country. I'm being investigated for a joke. I can name other comedians who are being investigated for jokes. We have gone down a very dark path. As Orwell says printed on the front of this building, if liberty is to mean anything at all, it must mean the right to tell people that which they don't want to hear. Do you stand by that or not? This is the BBC. Does the BBC stand by that or not?
Here are some comments from your social media pages.
We all know the BBCs are jokes. They accuse everyone of the hard R, but two guys from the BBC recently was just caught in a case. They are so hypocritical. Come on, BBC, get over